All right, good people, good people, good people. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Tennessee Titans Weekly on Blitz Report. If you can see me, hear me, I know it's probably coming in late and the chat's going to come in later, but I want to welcome everybody to the show. And we're just going to get into it, man, talk about the Titans and the Houston game and the debacle that happened yesterday. But if you are new to watching the show, I'm Jock from Tennessee Titans Weekly. My co-host, he's doing his thing, so he'll probably be on later. But hey, I just want to welcome everybody and thank everybody for watching the show. So we're gonna just hop into it, man. Just talk about this game, and I'm just gonna get into the main reasons of why we keep losing and not consistent, and why we specifically lost this Houston game. Again, it's a tale of two teams, and what I mean by a tale of two teams is the first drive, it was perfect, right? And it was what you thought was going to happen. Is Will Levis gets onto a hot start, the offense gets onto a hot start. They get to marching down the field. We got a nice little first drive, and we set the tempo. The tempo set for, you think, for the whole first half and the rest of the game. But then you come along and you continue to kind of do what you've been doing, running the ball. Nothing is wrong with running the ball. Don't let me get that wrong, because that's how we built our base. That's how we built our bread and butter over the years since Mike Vrabel has taken over this team. Matter of fact, since the Titans have been the exception of the Titans, we have run the ball. That's what we do. Eddie George, Chris Johnson, now Derrick Henry. But the problem is when you see it's not working, why do we continue to do it? Okay, why do you continue to not make adjustments when it's not working? Okay, and yesterday you see where Henry is struggling. I mean, I think for a minute there he had 0 yards, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? Why are the coaches not making adjustments? Why is Tim Kelly not making adjustments? Why is Mike Vrabel not saying, hey, Tim, go make adjustments, right? Okay, that's one. Now, when you're dealing with a rookie quarterback, you want to make sure you establish something to take the pressure off of him. And I believe, just to play devil's advocate, I believe that's what Mike Vrabel and company were trying to do. They're like, hey, let's establish a baseline. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can establish something here and get something going. And the mistake that you keep making is you're not making adjustments, okay? You're not making adjustments, all right? So that's one. Two, this offensive line is atrocious, okay? They're horrible. When I say horrible, they're horrible. Now, last week we played the Dolphins, and offensive line did a pretty good job. But again, you're not playing a beefed up defensive line. I notice when the Titans offensive line has to play a premier pass rush or a nice pass rush, they tend to struggle. And I don't know if it's a scheme thing. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. But they tend to struggle. And then the preparation is not there. It's just not right. And I think Will Levis got sacked 7 times. In OT, the last sack really put him on his butt, and it really messed him up. And that's breaking news, actually, that's coming out today, that he has a sprained ankle. So I don't even know if he'll be able to go next week with everything that's transpired. So now your offensive line is struggling. You're not making adjustments there to see, okay, they're bringing the blitz, they're bringing this, they're using stunts, they're doing this. Why are we not making adjustments? I'll iterate this again. It always goes back to leadership and coaching. Yeah, the Titans don't have talent, but the talent is almost like that across the NFL. I look at the Colts, for example. When I look at the Colts, they're an okay team. They're not the most talented team, but their coach is coaching his butt off. D'Amico Ryan yesterday outcoached Mike Vrabel, right? Now, he's a defensive-minded coach, but the difference is he tends to let his people coach and let his people work, right? And what I mean by his people is coaching staff. Do your thing, right? We let the Texans hang in there, and we let them hang, and they ultimately won the game. I think they only had 1 touchdown, and the rest were field goals, okay? That's not good, people. And they did it without C.J. Stroud. That's the scary part about it, and without Tank Dell. Singletary, I think, had over 100 yards. You're getting rid of T.R. Tart, look what that gets you. So I'm looking at this team. This team, man, they have a lot of work to do. Not just from a personnel standpoint, but from a coaching staff standpoint too as well. This is getting ridiculous. And again, I don't know where the chat is, so I know if people are still trying to come in, but we do have polls out there right now that's saying, we got our first poll, how comfortable you are with the head coach and Mike Vrabel in 2024. Are you okay with going with Mike Vrabel in 2024 with all the debacle and the crazy things that's happened? Also, we have another poll right there is, why are the Titans the worst team in the AFC South, right? Is it coaching? Is it offensive line play? Is it lack of talent, bad coaching in the locker room? What do we have, right? And then also with the 3 games that we have left, what should we do? Should we sit our players or should we play to win? I know you always want to play to win, but what should we do? I mean, this is getting ridiculous, man. And again, it's so inconsistent with what we've been doing. So I just want to touch on the game from a small standpoint. But we'll get into this, man. With the 3 games that we have left, I'm going to go to the poll. What should we do? Should we sit our talent? Should we sit our players? Or should we just keep playing to win? Knowing Mike Vrabel's a winning guy. He wants to win. Any coach, any player, anybody wants to win. You want to win. That's the ultimate objective, is to win. I know we're in this new age to where we want to tank and we want to get a good draft pick and in a good draft position to get a good draft pick. But the thing is, how much of your talent do you want to get hurt? And right now, the Titans, what have they been able to do from a talent standpoint to where you can say, I can really rest this person, or this person can sit down, this person? I think only really a couple of people have earned that notion. Is Tajay Spears, and now Will Levis by default has to sit because he has a high ankle sprain. So I wouldn't even play him, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, we did a couple of streams ago, and I forgot what game. It was a Bleacher Report show. And I was an advocate of sitting Will Levis because of this particular issue here. Offensive line is not good. So why, if he's going to be your future, and I understand he has to get out there and play. I understand he has to get playing time and get acclimated to the game. But why sit there and get him hurt? And that's what ultimately happened. The Titans are tracking this season to allow 50 sacks. And I got to figure out why I've seen that. But we're tracking, okay? And that's not good, all right? It's not good. It's not good at all, all right? 50 sacks? You allow 50 sacks throughout a season? That's a fireable offense. I don't know who's going to get fired. Somebody needs to get fired, but that's a fireable offense to the point where you need to let some people go. And it's sad. It's real sad. It's a horrible thing. And so I just think with everything that's transpired, and I've seen the press conference today where Vrabel hasn't committed to Tannehill playing in the next game. He has not. He has not committed. He said, okay, we're going to see who's going to go. Play Will Levis. I mean, not Will Levis, Malik Willis. See what Malik can do. We already know what he can do, but his athletic ability might help him out a little bit, but he's going to get destroyed too. So no matter who you put back there with that offensive line, they're going to struggle. It just is what it is. I don't know if it's a schematic thing. I don't know if it's a talent thing. I just don't know. It could be a combination of both. But this has to be looked at. So I'm going to go to my next topic on why the Titans for the 2023 season suck. All right? And why we have sucked and why we continue to suck. It's a thing where you constantly are doing the same thing over and over again. They call it insanity, right? If we go and look at this team from the inception of last year until this year, we were strapped for cash. We didn't have a lot of money to really go out there and sign any big-name free agents, which we did with D-Hop. But, again, you had an opportunity to go out and get a decent offensive coordinator and a defensive – and we still got our defensive coordinator in Shane Bowen, but I think you need to upgrade that coaching position as well because I think the salary needs to be more maximized. But I'm going to stick to the offense. From the first game to this game, the offense has been off kilter. They haven't been consistent. And what I mean by consistent, one quarter they'll play good, next quarter they're playing horrible. It's not. You haven't had a complete game from the Titans this season, and it sucks because it's like you know what the team is capable of. You know Mike Vrabel's a great coach, but the problem is has the team. Has the buy-in been lost, right? Players, what is his mantra? Play hard, play better, something crazy like that. Are the players not buying into it anymore, right? We've been seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Be honest with y'all. I think the Titans have been sucking. Ever since that Cincy game, that Cincinnati game, when we played them in the playoffs, I think the Titans have been on a trajectory where they've been trending down. But it's on Mike Vrabel at the time to make that change, to figure out, hey, what do we need to do to get better? Now, of course, some things are out of his control with the John Robinson thing and him not collaborating and everything like that. But when I look at this team, we shouldn't be doing this. We should have been almost like a trendy data analytical chart, right? When you see your data trending low, you got to figure out how you get that particular data point to go back up. And we don't have it, right? We haven't tried it. We didn't go out there. We haven't been drafting well, right? We haven't been drafting well at all for the past couple of years. And that's really hurt us. Shout out to my guy Hulk, co-host, because he's lived and he's gone down that rock where he says, hey, we have not drafted well. We have not. And we continue to sit on that, and this really hurting us. The A.J. Brown trade killed us, right? Us not re-signing particular players like Jonnu Smith. We could have paid Jonnu Smith. I think Jonnu Smith at that time was catching it. He was catching his win. Corey Davis. I honestly think we should have kept Corey Davis because now look at us, right? We have D-Hop, who's our number one target. He's trending to have 1,000 yards if we can get him there. But who's our second option? Traylon Burks hasn't panned out. Nicky Keenan Westbrook, he's a C-list receiver. He'll get you do some good, and he'll do some bad, right? So I think when you have the inception of Tannehill here, and then you have the inception of the offensive line play not being good, what are you trying to do, right? Peter Skoronski didn't have a good game yesterday. We know that, but he's a rookie. I can excuse that. He's a rookie, but he's playing. He's getting playing time. He's been the most solid offensive lineman we've had, right? Jalen Duncan's a rookie. I can give him some grace, but is he a starter next year? No. You either need to go out in free agency and get some, or we need to look at the draft. If we keep trending, we have an option with the Notre Dame left tackle Alt. I don't know how much confidence I have with Vrabel and them picking the right thing when it comes to drafting now. Only little hope I have is Rand Carthon, man. Rand Carthon has given me the hope. And Rand Carthon, with this draft class we have now, with Will Levis, Tajay Spears, who's been productive. Josh Wiley's been up and down. He's been injured. He was inactive this last game. Jalen Duncan's playing. But we have to hit, and we don't have a lot of draft capital even going into 2024. So I feel like the Titans have been on the trajectory of sucking for a while, right? And just for the 2023 season, it's inconsistency. And then I'll go to the talent. So if I got to rank them, let me say this. If I got to rank them, it's coaching, leadership, being inconsistent, which all plays in the one. And then third is talent. Okay? But also, I can say this. What up, Hawk?
What up, Jacques? What's up,
I can't hear you, brother. I can't hear you.
Can you not hear me?
I can't hear you, no. Welcome. Okay. So everybody, if y'all new to the show, it's my co-host Hawk, man. I had to hold it down for you while you was getting your stuff together, man. Absolutely. I still can't hear you. Okay. I'll let you get your stuff together when I continue to rock. But man, what I'm talking about, man, is why are the Titans sucking in 2023, man? And it's ridiculous because again, when I look at the 2023 season, I had hope. I'm not going to lie to you. I had a little bit of hope with the addition of D-Hop, with the defense, and the defense hasn't been bad. They haven't been bad. They haven't been bad at all. Matter of fact, they kept us in that game yesterday. Haven't been bad. Haven't been the problem. Okay, but we make them the problem. So when I look at this season, I'm like, okay, I gave y'all my pinpoints in my list of coaching, inconsistency, and then talent, right? But now, I mean, how do we fix it? Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hear you clear. Can you hear me?
I still can't hear you, brother. Yeah. I still can't hear you. You might be on. Check your. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Put my head on real quick, man. Check your mute or whatever. But
okay.
But yeah, man. So. Again, and then people, if I got anybody in the chat, we have our poll questions out there. And our first poll question is, how comfortable are you with Mike Vrabel going into 2024? And that's a hell of a question, man. That's a real hell of a question. And then our second poll question is, why are the Titans the worst team in the AFC South in 2023? And that's a great question, man. Real great question. And so most def. Hold on, let me see here. Let me see. And then we got and then of course the main reason we have another poll question is the main reason for the loss, for the Houston loss. Was it the offensive line, head coach, play calling, or did we just simply we just trash, trash altogether? So again, I don't see the chat. I don't see anybody in the chat. So maybe it's a delay, but like I said, I'm gonna keep rocking here. I'm trying to wait till my co-hosts get back in here. Give me 1 minute, people. Hawk, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So again, Hawk, just talking to everybody and just everybody why the Titans suck and everything like that. What's your opinion, man? What do you think the Titans suck?
Well, I think for several reasons, man. Can you hear me pretty well, Jacques?
Hold on. Maybe it's me, Hawk.
Yeah. Well, for several reasons, man. There's many reasons why the Titans suck, man. And we got the poll out there as well, too, y'all. Check out the poll. For this season, man, the reason we suck this year, man, it's a culmination of things. I think more than anything, it's lack of talent. And when I look at lack of talent, I look at the offensive line. I look at our coaches. But overall, I really think it's a lack of talent as to why we struggle this year. When you look at the AFC South, we're in last place for a reason. And overall, all season long, we've had struggles. Like last year, we had injury issues. This year, we have talent issues. And you look at our offensive line, we probably have the worst set of offensive line group in the NFL. It is a subpar to almost a college level group. And what they've been trying to do all season, it's impacted even how they can run their offense. They can't even run their offense because the line can't even block. Even if we're doing audibles or we're doing different things, we still can't block. We got Ryan Tannehill hurt. We got Will Levis hurt. We got Derrick Henry.
I can't hear.
It's bad. Lack of talent is our problem. Even if you look at our secondary, lack of talent. We're not a good football team at the end of the day. That's why we're struggling. We're not a good football team. That's why we suck. We suck because we do not have a good football team. And that's why we are at home chilling, watching the playoffs while the other teams in our division are trying to battle for the playoffs right now, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Gotcha, Hulk. Gotcha.
Yeah, man.
Trying to see what's why. For some reason, Hulk, I can't hear you. That's weird. That's weird.
Okay.
Maybe it's on my end. I don't know. But yeah, so again, man, it's ridiculous. And people, if you're in the chat, we do have the poll questions out there. Man, go check them out. And there's some great poll questions, real great poll questions. So let me hear real quick here. So the Vrabel conversation.
Talk to me about Vrabel.
The Vrabel conversation. How comfortable, man, are you and just people, period, with Vrabel going into 2024? Because it's a scary notion, because what you think and what you see is what we seen Sunday, right?
Yep.
Talk to us, man. And while you're doing that, I'm gonna switch my profiles. Keep going, Hawk. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So for Vrabel, how comfortable
am I? Come back in and come back out.
Yes, sir. So how comfortable am I with Mike Vrabel going into 2024? So we got the poll question out there as well, too. So I know a lot of people calling for Mike Vrabel to get fired. I understand, because we've lost a lot of football games. We've only won 5 football games this year and have only won 8 games in the last, I think, 19. So we suck. But just to be honest with you, too, again, lack of talent could be a part of the reason why Mike Vrabel's on the hot seat. I get that. John Robinson is a huge part of that, and he got his work cut out for him. But I think going into next year, you bring Mike Vrabel back. You bring him back. You got a young nucleus right now that's trying to build. Mike Vrabel's built some, relationships and rapport with these guys. You bring him back. Now, I will say, if there's no improvements soon, you got to let Mike Vrabel go. It'll be that time if that's the case. I do think he does deserve an opportunity to come back next year, because at the end of the day, who are we going to replace him with? We don't know yet. Then, if you let Mike Vrabel go, he'll get picked up immediately. Vrabel's a good coach, man, but he's going to have to get with his staff. He's going to have to get more talent here. That's a problem. Our talent is a problem. And that's on Mike Vrabel. He's got to bring in guys that's going to be willing to buy in and things because the AFC South has moved up. We got to step up. We got to do better. So I'm bringing Mike Vrabel back next year, but I'm going to give him probably 5 to 6 games next year. If he don't figure it out, he's got to get out of here, y'all. Just to be honest with you, bro.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Give me 1 minute. So, give my thoughts on that.
Okay.
Am I comfortable with him in 2024? I have no choice but to be comfortable with him because he's not going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And when I look at, again, we've had a conversation about it, Hawk, and I think I've talked about this even on other shows. The problem I got with Vrabel is his supporting cast. Again, Tim Kelly, man, they're inconsistent. They're inconsistent. If there was some consistency with this coaching staff, I would be okay. But it's inconsistent. It's inconsistent. And when I look at this, I'm like, hey, what are we doing and why are we doing it, right? Why are we not changing? Like, for example, I'm going to go back to yesterday's game. You're running the ball. It's not working. Switch the personnel up, right? Tajay Spears was running a little bit better than what Derrick Henry was. But if it's not working, switch it up. Stop it. Abandon it. Fortunately, I would say, hell, we'll let us throw it around the yard, right? Try it. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I see where Vrabel was trying to go, where we've established the run. We're a run first team. We're gonna stick to our guns. We're not gonna change nothing. Blah 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 blah. Right? And you're digging in like, okay, but still, something has to change. You have to change. So no matter, regardless if I'm comfortable with it, right? He's gonna be our coach. To me, I know people don't want to hear this. But from 2024 and beyond, right? That's how much of confidence that the ownership has in Mike Vrabel. Unless he has to really stink up the joint, next year he has saving grace because he has $100 million. He has $100 million and a couple of draft picks, right? That's like me going to the casino with $100 million and I'm gambling on myself, right? That's $100 million. So my thing is, I'm like, okay, I'm patient enough to say, all right, Vrabel, do your thing. You got $100 million. Let's see how you cook. Now, I will say this. Today is the 18th of December of 2023. If we go in the offseason, and I'm going to say this, you don't have to spend the whole $100 million. Just make it make sense. Make it make sense, right? If this team is not revamped from the O-line to the skill positions to just anything, if it's not revamped and we kind of go in looking how we look this year, then that's when I'm going to start questioning leadership to the point where I'm like, okay, we might need to look at going a different direction. 2024, I'm comfortable with it, especially this offseason. Let's see how this offseason goes. Let's see what they can do with this money, and then we'll go from there. But if we can't do nothing with the money, and if we don't do nothing to add talent to this team, then that's when you really need to say, okay, Vrabel, brother, we gave you the opportunity. You squandered it. You just messed it all up. I don't know if you're trying to sabotage yourself to get up out of here. I don't know what you're doing, but we're going to have to look in a different direction. And the culture needs to change. You see what I'm saying? So that's for me, big dog. That's for me.
Yes,
that's for me. Yeah, that's for me. So, and again, people, I don't see anybody in the chat, but we got the poll questions out there. If y'all get a chance, y'all rewatch the shows, whatever, man, answer those. These are good poll questions. Shout out to you, Hawk, for these. Again, especially the one of is why were the Titans the worst team in the AFC South? There are 3 teams in the AFC South, I think, that are 8-6 right now.
8-6.
3 teams.
Yep.
3 teams. Okay. And when it comes to talent, they okay, right? But they better than us. Why is the Titans the worst team in the AFC South? Talk to us, Hawk?
The offensive line, man. The O-line. The O-line is horrible. There's been a lot of changes. I think the Andre Dillard signing, this on Rand, I think the Andre Dillard signing is the worst signing in the NFL this year. We signed a bunch of backups. Brunskill, Peter Skoronski struggling. I haven't been impressed with Skoronski over the last 3 games. He had a terrible game yesterday. Jalen Duncan, again, is a 6th-round pick out there trying his best to make things happen. at the end of the day, that spells trouble. And literally, you cannot do anything on offense if your foundation is not built. And we don't have that. And it's bad. It's terrible. It's trash. It's horrible. It's garbage. It's BFI, pure, uncut trash. And so I think more than anything, we got bad coaching. We got culture, lack of talent. I get that. But the offensive line is a part of that lack of talent. And I'd say that 60 to 70% of our problem is our offensive line. I think our DBs is a problem too on defense. We're not getting a lot of points, but we're giving up a lot of yards, and we're not making turnovers. So again, those interceptions and those things have made a big problem with us because Houston didn't even have their star player. They didn't have nobody out there. They had their practice squad players out there, and they still beat us. So we're clearly the worst team in the AFC South. We're clearly one of the worst teams in the NFL today. So I don't say to a lack of effort. I think the effort is there. We're just not a good football team. We can cut the pie as much as we want. We suck. We're not a good team. We're not. So yeah, man. And then Jacques.
For me, and then we'll get up out of here.
All right.
But for me, man, of course you got again your lack of talent. But if I was answering this poll, man, I can answer it in 5 tiers, right? Right now, the offensive line, I think is tracking to allow 50 sacks on this season, and I believe, and 50 sacks.
Wow.
And so when the offensive line is that bad, we know it's probably a lack of talent, but you got 2 rookies playing. You got Brewer, who I don't think is a really decent center. I don't even think why he's still on the team, in my opinion. I think she should have revamped that position. Right tackle, we still don't know what we got in that, right? Yeah. And when I look at this, okay, lack of talent, I can excuse that. But then when I look at the coaching piece, I'm like, okay, well, why are we not coaching these young men up? You see what I'm saying? Why are we not coaching them up? Is it the buy-in is gone? Is it that they're not buying into the system anymore? Right? Do they care? Are they taking in what they're putting down? Are they believing what they're putting down? And so when I look at why we're the worst team in the AFC South, man, it's a combination of several things, man. When I look at the talent piece, Hulk, and I'm going to say this too. I look at the Texans. They beat us with Case Keenum. It's Case Keenum, right? Mm-hmm. They beat us with Case Keenum. They didn't even touch us with C.J. Stroud. Singletary ran amok on us. They didn't even have Tank Dell. They only scored 1 touchdown. That wasn't supposed to happen. Yesterday, I kind of feel the Titans was a little bit better on a paper standpoint, from a talent standpoint on paper. We were better. So you had a non-talented a squad, because I'm going to say squad, because I think when you put the A squad out there, Houston got a talented team. But when you put the C squad out there, why the C squad is even outranking our A squad? That makes no sense.
Thanks.
You see what I'm saying? So when I look at the talent thing, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to weigh it. The Colts don't really have, they on paper, you like, who are these dudes? And I'm going to be honest with you. Who are these dudes? Right? So I can say lack of talent, but I'm always going to point back to that leadership, dog. Big leadership energy. And it's not, something's going to have to change, man. Something's going to have to change within that organization and on the coaching staff for this to be successful. So gotcha. Yeah. But again, everybody, we're going to wrap up the show because like I said, I don't see anybody in the chat. So we don't get to actually go to the best part of the show, which is the live chop up. But it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. Again, if you want to find us, man, you can find us on Twitter at Titans 24/7. You can find us on YouTube at Tennessee Titans Weekly. We're on Spotify, Apple. We're on every platform that you can think of. We there. We put out some fall content. I want to give a shout out to, again, Bleacher Report for blessing us and allowing us to come on their platform and spit this hot fire with this Titans stuff. And then even with Hawk, man, I appreciate you, bro. You're the hell of a co-host, my partner, my people. So I appreciate you riding with this journey this season, yes, man. I know we're eliminated from the playoffs. So I know everybody's kind of checking out, but we gonna definitely keep the mic hot, if that makes sense.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So
cool.
Yep. So people, we appreciate y'all watching the show. And once we say all the time, facts,
no paper.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody.